Hi, Steve Hobbs here. I'm sharing with you some insights about what I call the well living workplace. But before I dive into describing what it is, I just want to set you up for success. And that's accomplished by giving you an overview of a really key concept. And that concept is creating a framework that you can work from. And let me help you understand the framework. You've probably heard something like create a bucket to put everything into, or you've got a list that you want to work from, or the steps that you want to work from. These are frameworks that you can work from. And if you know the book by Stephen Covey, which is about the 7 habits of highly effective people, what's in there is just an awesome framework. And that's what guides you as you're reading through the book, as you're starting to understand independence to interdependence into continuous improvement. And what I want to do right now is just share that sort of framework with you to sort of get you thinking about positioning on a piece of paper the way in which you might draw it. I'll be talking about 10 characteristics of the well-living workplace, and that's just a way for you to frame it up through how I'm going to present it. Now, what else is going to happen is this framework helps you to work with other people who are going to help you. Because if you're in a next 50 career, second career, it's not always about working by yourself. You have to work with other people. You create a team around you if you're using the internet. There's also people who are supporting you. So it's not really about being like a solopreneur, or if you are already in a company and you've got people involved, then what you need to know is how do you help all these other people work with you? In other words, how do you organize the work? And so the skeleton, this framework, helps them understand where they are in this journey that you're going to take them. And as I get into explaining more about the well-living workplace, this concept of journey is really important. And you know when you're canoeing or you're going walking, how important a map is. And that map helps you figure out the plan of the journey that you're going to go on. That's what this framework that I'm going to be sharing with you about the well-living workplace is about. So I didn't want to lose that really key concept here at the very beginning. Now, I just want to go back over the term organization of work. There's an important element here as well, is that the work that you're doing needs to be organized. And you probably heard things, well, we've got to design it up, we've got to develop it, we've got to implement it, we've got to evaluate it. You may have heard words like that. You may have heard words like we've got to manage, we've got to lead, we've got to plan, we've got to coordinate, words like that. These are all ways of framing up this organization of work. And what you've got to do is just get that settled into your mind as well. So one of the things that I would encourage you to do right now is, how would you draw, in other words, visually put down on a piece of paper, draw it out, what the organization of work might look like for you? And this is when you start to get like 3 people or more. Because usually a second person working with you, if you're a solopreneur, tends to follow what you need. But if you already have staff and you're watching the video, then how would you draw that out? I call it sort of a social networking map, so that you can start to figure out how people are interacting with one another. And that starts to give you a sense of a framework that you're going to use to create the well-living workplace. So with those sort of tips, I'm getting you to think about the organization of work, the skeleton, this framework is a guide to help you with your communication. Because when you have this guide for communication, then things start to flow, because it's communication which is the glue, what holds this together. And without the communication, then it's hard to know if you've gotten anywhere, because communication gives you the insights about the response you're getting. How are people responding to you? And if they have this visual map and you're getting them to communicate with you, then it's just awesome what's going to start to unfold for you. And that's why I wanted to share this overview around framework at this point in time. So where we're heading into next is looking at, well, what is well-living workplace?